Happy Friday. 2 minutes in the box with Gordo. Today we have a lot to talk about. 14 games last night. Latest on the playoff race and chase. Latest news and rumors in the NHL. Expansion talks again. Yep. And Canada, what's your problem with Wayne Gretzky? It just really upsets me. And the new prime minister, bad luck for the Edmonton Oilers. Bruno pissed at his Nashville Predators players, and Brent Burns, Iron Man streak, and we only got one game on the dock. Okay, let's get to it. All right, so first game we talk about Colorado, Ottawa. No surprise, Colorado Avalanche bounced back nicely, 5-1 victory. And I'll tell you, Cale Makar is definitely going to be a 30-goal scorer. I mean, look at the numbers he has got. I mean, he's just remarkable. He's just unreal. So far this season, Cale Makar, 55 assists, 26 goals. This dude is like a reincarnated Bobby Orr. All right, this guy is a one of a kind, like a rarity, every generational defenseman. Nathan McKinnon played very well indeed, along with Jonathan Drouin, and getting those 2 points for the Avalanche, very important indeed in the Central Division. And meanwhile, the Ottawa Senators not getting those 2 points means that they do not extend their lead as the first wild card. Meanwhile, in the Calgary Flames and the New Jersey Devils, let's put it this way. What a surprising victory for the Calgary Flames. They were playing against their former goaltender, former teammate, Jacob Markstrom. And I'll tell you, Calgary 5-3 victory. This team extended their way as a potential wild card team. I mean, it was a very important win. I gotta tell you, Dustin Wolf is going to be the potential rookie of the year. I mean, he has carried the load for the Calgary Flames. The Devils having Jacob Markstrom. It's been a hit and miss so far, but Dustin Wolf for the Calgary Flames, rookie of the year. Huberdeau played spectacular. He's finally found his game. Good for Jonathan Huberdeau, and to say the least. But Calgary, I mean, do you think they can make it as a Cinderella story or not? Now you've got an interesting deal with the Devils, though. The Devils, they are not the same team without Dougie Hamilton and Jack Hughes. It's a darn shame. It's a darn shame. And meanwhile, Toronto Maple Leaf, across the Hudson River, you've got the New York Rangers and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Maple Leafs getting those two important points in the Atlantic Division. 4-3 victory. JT, 1,100 points. Very impressive indeed. And the Rangers not getting those 2 points for that final wildcard spot. Very costly indeed. Very costly indeed. And I'll tell you, JT, 2 goals helped the Maple Leafs win that game in a 4-3 close game. And meanwhile, Alex Ovechkin does it again. 8-8-8. He's got 7 to go to break Wayne Gretzky's all-time record. Congratulations, Ovi. You're getting close. You're getting super close. 7 more to go to break the Great One's all-time record. 3-2 win against the Philadelphia Flyers. Impressive win. And they are the first team in the playoffs for the 2025. Remember last year, they were the last team in. This year, they are the first one in. Now, we went to a very close contest between the Florida Panthers and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Man, oh man. We all thought the Blue Jackets were going to win this game when Boone Jenner somewhat redirected the puck. It turns out it was a kicking motion, no goal. Sasha Barkov sealed the deal, 1-0 win, overtime, and Bob gets a shutout, and Seth Jones contributing against his old team. Just a good game for the Florida Panthers, and especially for them having the lead in the Atlantic Division. And meanwhile, the Blue Jackets got that 1 point, but they would love to, but not good enough. And now the Calgary I mean, Montreal Canadiens against the New York Islanders. Let's put it this way. Close game, overtime. It was a heavily contest. The Canadians, they are heavy shooters, man. They were very heavy shooters out there. But the Isles, they stood their ground. The Isles stood their ground. And, Bo Horvat, just spectacular. 2 goals helped it. Don't forget Simon Holmstrom and Anthony Duclair. And the Islanders getting those 2 important points to get back into the wild card chase. And Montreal got that 1 point as well. But now we go down to Vancouver, St. Louis. Important game in the Western Conference for the wild card. Let's say this. The Blues, hell of a game for them. 4-3 overtime win. Impressive indeed. I'll tell you, Vancouver did get that extra point, that 1 point, but St. Louis got the other point. And I'll say, Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway, big impact. That's why the Blues won the game in overtime. I got to tell you, Edmonton could be using those 2 guys right now. They could definitely be using those 2. And now you've got Anaheim and Nashville. Steven Stamkos, though, 22nd all-time in the goals category. Meanwhile, you got 23rd of the season. But Anaheim gave him a good clinic, and Bruno was pissed, but we'll get to that after. So Anaheim still in the chase, still in the race. And a heck of a game between the Lightning and the Stars. Shootout. I mean, let's just say, Dallas has struggled lately. They are struggling. They got that 1 point, but Tampa Bay got that 2 points that is crucial to them. Yeah, I'll tell you, Kucherov sneaking one through and, and Gage, Gonglevs, he got that game-winning shootout goal. And I'll tell you, Tampa Bay, they escaped. They had the lead, but they blew it, but they somewhat got redemption right there in the shootout. Yeah. Very good win for the Lightning. Very good win by the Lightning. And the LA Kings, 3-1 against the Chicago Blackhawks. And they got eliminated, and Connor Bedard got a goal. And that was probably it for the Blackhawks. And the Blackhawks season is basically over, and they are eliminated. Meanwhile, overtime victory, Winnipeg Jets, the top team in the West and in the league. I'll say this, it's going to be very concerning for the Edmonton Oilers. Without Draisaitl, McDavid, and Stuart Skinner, it's going to be a tough week or 2 stretch down to the final leg of the season. All right? That right there is going to be very, very costly right there. And we go over to Utah Hockey Club against the Buffalo Sabres. The Buffalo Sabres, they find another way to lose and make mediocrity. They did it again. Shot the puck in their own net. Empty net. Just embarrassing. But Utah Hockey Club, though, 2 important points. The dub. And especially they are still in the wild card chase. And Clayton Keller is one of the most underrated players in the NHL. And Dylan Guenther, man, that dude scores and wins. I mean, every time he scores, the dude basically wins. Every time he scores, the Utah Hockey Club wins. They are a very good team. Very underrated, though. And now we go over to Vegas, though. Vegas Golden Knights, 5-1 against the Boston Bruins. No surprise. No surprise indeed. I mean, Jack Eichel, God, man, he is just one of those, underrated. 61 assists so far this season. Boy, Buffalo, it was not Jack Eichel, it was you guys. No wonder you guys have everything last in your category. Oh, yeah. Vegas, oh, yeah, very impressive indeed. And the Carolina Hurricanes, 3-1 victory against the San Jose Sharks, also eliminated from the playoffs. And, it's a very interesting team for Carolina. Carolina, they are second place in the Metropolitan. And meanwhile, let's check out the latest updates in the standings, shall we? No surprise here. Florida Panthers, Toronto Maple Leafs, 87 points each, tied for first. Lightning third, 85 points. And the Metropolitan, Washington Capitals, 100 points. Second place, Carolina Hurricanes, 88. New Jersey Devils third with 80. Wild card one is the Ottawa Senators at 77. The Montreal Canadiens at second place with 74. Meanwhile, New York Islanders, New York Rangers, 72 points each. They're 2 points behind the Montreal Canadiens. Columbus Blue Jackets with 71, 3 points behind Montreal. And the Detroit Red Wings, 4 points behind Montreal. They have 70. And the Bruins with 69, they are 5 points behind. Ay, ay, ay. Wow. I mean, this wild card chase is going to get spicy right here. And I mean, it's going to be just compact and crazy. I mean, just amazingly crazy. And meanwhile, out west in the Central Division, 100 points, Winnipeg Jets, first place. Dallas Stars, 90 points, second place. Colorado Avalanche, third with 87. So basically, the Avalanche are 3 points behind the Stars. So basically, we could see that matchup, so and so, da 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 da. So Colorado's got to play that catch up and make up for some lost ground. Meanwhile, in the Pacific Division, Vegas Golden Knights, 88 points. 85 for the Edmonton Oilers. The LA Kings third with 83. Very close. I mean, LA's 2 points behind Edmonton, and Edmonton's three behind Vegas. I mean, this is going to be very thrilling, krilling, stilling, basically. Wow, we are seeing very close race in that division. Minnesota Wild with 83 points in the wild card one. Meanwhile, they are four behind the Colorado Avalanche and seven behind the Dallas Stars. And St. Louis Blues, now they are the final wild card in the Western Conference with 77 points. Meanwhile, you've got Vancouver 1 point behind with 76, 75 for Calgary Flames. They are 2 points behind St. Louis Blues. Utah Hockey Club still alive, 73 points. They are 4 points behind the Blues. And the Ducks, 68. They are about 9 points off. But, let's see what happens right there now. And basically, we got one game tonight. It's between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Columbus Blue Jackets. And it's going to be a close game. Columbus, they got to play catch up. And if Columbus wins, that means they leapfrog the Rangers and the Islanders, and they will be 1 point behind Montreal for that final wild card spot. Yeah, there's only one game tonight. There's one game tonight. All right, now let's get to the latest news and rumors. All right. I'll say this, Sam Bennett and the Florida Panthers negotiations are going very, very well. I believe they're almost at the finish line. They will get Bennett signed. And as for Ekblad, I believe Ekblad will get somewhat of a hometown discount. And I think Brad Marchand should stay as well, but who knows? Let's see what happens on that part right there. And John Tavares, like I said, 1,100 point plateau. Congratulations to him. And Connor Hellback, I forgot to mention, 40 win plateau for the second time, joining Marc-Andre Fleury as the only active goaltender to achieve that feat, joining Ryan Miller as the second American-born netminder, who's also joined Ken Dryden as the fourth fastest goalie to reach 40 wins in a single season. Just impressive indeed. Impressive indeed. And I mentioned Connor McDavid missed the third period with an upper body injury, and Stuart Skinner pulled late, concussion protocol, and Leon Draisaitl undisclosed injury. And Mark Carney, who's the new prime minister, the intern prime minister of Canada, he skated with the Oilers. And, we get it. You play college hockey at Harvard. You're a goalie. And you brought bad luck to the Edmonton Oilers. You're an Oiler fan, but was it really necessary for you to step on the ice, bro? You are a globalist. Globalists are bad luck and bad mojo for a team that's looking to get back into the Stanley Cup Finals. Bro, just stick to your day job and enjoy the leisures of life and just cheer on your Edmonton Oilers. And besides, Bill Murray had a better cameo of making an impact for his team than you did. I mean, really? Really, Mark? You should just probably just watch the game, not step on the ice because you cursed the Edmonton Oilers, your base, your hometown team, your favorite team. You should just relax and chill and shut up. All right. And everybody hates globalists. And speaking of hating globalists, why is Canada hating Wayne Gretzky? The great one. What did Wayne Gretzky do to you guys? Are you still pissed off at Wayne Gretzky for leaving Edmonton for LA for after all those years? Shut up and grow up. Who cares? Like, who cares? It was a business move at the time, and Peter Pocklington needed the money. I mean, throwing feces at Wayne Gretzky statue is very immature, just like throwing feces at Teslas. You guys are just mentally ill and challenged. Get over it. Grow up. It's just disgusting how you guys hate successful people who have achieved greatness while you just sit in your parents' basement and cry about your day. And then you hear that song because you had a bad day. So shut the hell up. Arrest whoever smeared feces on Wayne Gretzky. They should be tried and locked up for a while. All right. That just pisses me off. All right. That just really pisses me off. All right. Now, we have Andrew Burnett. He is very pissed off indeed, speaking of which. Pissed off about the lack of professionalism and the long term contracts that the Nashville Predators have done in the past offseason. And they've been a major disappointment in the NHL this season. Yeah, I agree. Nashville had a great run last year and they made the playoffs and a good run, but I think they hit that plateau way too soon. They should have never gone for Stamkos, Brady, Shea, and Marchessault. It really affected them dearly. I really think they should have just built their momentum and did it like in a calm way instead of going all in too soon. They really made a mistake. I would personally, if I was Nashville, it's not Bruno's fault. I would give him another chance, another year. And if he doesn't turn the ship around next season, he is out of a job. That's unfortunate. Barry Trotz, I like you. You're a beauty. You're one of the smart hockey guys, but it's not you, man. Like when you sign all those guys, you learn it because you're a small market coach who was there from 1998 to 2014. But I gotta say, you know, you've got to make sure the team makes an impact for next season. Nashville was supposed to be a high expected team, and they made big disappointments all around this year. And now let's get over to Brent Burns. Congratulations to Brent Burns becoming the fifth all-time consecutive Ironman streak and 911 consecutive games. Congratulations to Brent Burns. Man, you're a beauty. I would love to have you on my team next season. You deserve a Stanley Cup for all the tribunals and trials and your career has gone through. You deserve a Stanley Cup. I mean, I can't believe you're still in Carolina. I wish we would have gotten, a player like him at the trade deadline. And that would be an achievement for Brent Burns. And that dude deserves everything possible, anything possible. Stanley Cup champ, that's what he deserves. Okay, now let's get to the NHL expansion rumors. All right, here we go. You know, New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm like, are you kidding? Really? Are we doing this? Are we seriously going to go to New Orleans, Louisiana for an NHL franchise? I've heard that the governor of Louisiana and a business leader, they have had a interesting negotiation and a progress and good, very well meeting with the commissioner for several hours. And Gary Bettman, he denies, oh, we're not expanding and all that stuff, but the collecting bargain agreement, they got to get that signed. Yeah, I mean, New Orleans is an NHL market. I just don't think it would work. I just don't think it would work. I get it. You do well with the Super Bowl, you do well with the Sugar Bowl, you do well with the New Orleans Saints. You barely have a good attendance with the Pelicans. You tried the New Orleans Jazz. Pistol Pete Maravich couldn't save that franchise. When his knee went out, the franchise died and went to Utah. And I gotta tell you, the NHL going to New Orleans, like the Pelicans are going to be moving. We all know that the Pelicans are going to be moving out of New Orleans, and the NHL would be taking the Pelicans spot at Smoothie King Center. Oh, yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. You know, and Steve Scalise and Jeff Landry, they had a productive meeting with the NHL and it went really well. And I'll tell you, that right there is somewhat, you're going with New Orleans. They haven't had a hockey team since 2002. And where the hell is the closest rink? I mean, they've got to build like three, maybe four rinks in the area. I mean, and don't forget, New Orleans is a very small TV market. They're like 51st in the United States. And I'll say, it's just one of those things. And, the political leaders in Louisiana, they really want an NHL team. They really want one. And I'm like, I don't know. Where do they fit in the division? I mean, you've got, the NHL could definitely put on like, three divisions each in each conference in the East and the West. So you basically got like Atlantic Division, the Northeast Division, and the Southeast Division. We're going back to that, from the late 90s till 2013. Then you got in the Western Conference, you're going to go probably Central, Northwest, and the Pacific Division. You're going to go back to that. That's going to be interesting indeed. So now we've got this Houston billionaire, Dan Friedkin. Friedkin, I should say, Dan Friedkin. He is the owner of two soccer teams, one in England, one in Italy. And I'll tell you, it's going to be a very interesting, it's going to be interesting. All right. Let's just put it this way. It's going to be very interesting to see, this guy try to get a NHL franchise. And tell me, Fatia, he's not in the race for the NHL anymore. So basically, Dan Friedkin, he's basically a CEO of the Friedkin Group, and he's a film producer and a businessman. And also, he owns Serie A soccer club Roma and a Premier League club Everton. All right. So his net worth is $7.8 billion. And the interesting thing is looking at his bio and what he has done with his business. So basically, he has done so well with the automotive industry and, like distributing Toyotas and the Gulf Coast and stuff. And looking at some movies he's done, he did The Mule, with Clint Eastwood. And yeah, he's a film producer. And basically, this guy has got a deep pocket. And, could he build his own arena or could he basically share the arena with the Houston Rockets? He's got very deep pockets, $7.8 billion. I really think this would be a safe bet that, yep, Houston is the 33rd team coming into the NHL. Basically, he also is CEO of Gulf States Toyota and, owns a bunch of, luxury resorts and hotels and vacation properties in the US, Mexico, Costa Rica, Europe, the Caribbean, and Fiji. Oh, yeah. This guy's got deep pockets, guys. He's got deep pockets. And Houston, the arrows are back. Oh, yeah, the Houston Arrows are coming back. And meanwhile, you've got the Atlanta Thrashers. I'm wearing an Atlanta Thrashers t-shirt, just telling everybody Blue Land's coming back. Unleash the Fury. The Atlanta Thrashers will be coming back along with Houston. after the collecting bargaining agreement is set in stone and you've got 34 teams. And meanwhile, we all know Phoenix, Arizona, they're going to get an NHL franchise. The Coyotes will be back with Matt and Justin Ishbia as the owners and Shane Doan as the president and GM of hockey ops. Oh, yeah. I'm predicting the future here, and it's going to be accurate because I'm always about 99.9x correct most of the time. Yeah. So, and then I don't know who the hell is going to be the last team. I seriously do not know who's going to be the last team joining the NHL family in the franchises. We know there's going to be Atlanta, it's going to be Houston, and it's going to be Phoenix, but it's either going to be Kansas City, Cincinnati, or New Orleans. I don't know. The last one is going to be very tricky, and I just seem to don't know who's going to join. I mean, it's going to be one of those things that I don't know. We already know the big three because, don't forget, the NHL needs to get a new TV deal in Canada. So we, we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see what happens right after the CBA talks, and we all know the CBA talks are going to be starting up in April 1st, and hopefully it goes well. If it doesn't go well, it's a bad sign. But the NHL, they saw the price tag yesterday of the Boston Celtics being sold at $6.1 billion. The NHL's like, if we start expansion franchise for 1.5 billion and then give Arizona another try, that would be $4.5 billion. And then the last team that joins in, it's going to be another half a billion. It'll be like a $2 billion entry fee. And, I just don't know what to say about that. But overall, I love it. I'm all for NHL expansion. This has been 2 Minutes in the Box with Gordo. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe on the following: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, X, Rumble, True Social, etc. This has been 2 Minutes in the Box with Gordo. We'll be back here tomorrow. Have a great rest of the day, everybody.